Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock and we begin tonight with an unthinkable situation. 4 people, a woman and 3 kids, found dead inside of their home in Indiana. Right now, state police are leading this investigation, trying to figure out what happened. Our Chase Howell has been looking into this case all evening. He joins us tonight from the newsroom. So Chase, what do we know so far?
At this hour, state police have not released how they died, but here's what I can tell you. Investigators were first called to the home in Wolcottville, which is about an hour north of Fort Wayne, for a welfare check this morning. While Wolcottville Police Department was checking things out, they found the woman and those 3 children dead inside the home. That's when state police then took over the investigation. ISP says the Noble County coroner will identify the victims and determine how they died during an autopsy that is scheduled for tomorrow. Police also say there is no threat to the public. Now, I have touched base with a woman who says she's related to those who died, but she says she's holding off on saying anything out of respect for the family.
All right, Chase, in our newsroom, thanks so much. Tonight at 11, the Johnson County Prosecutor is expressing disappointment as his office now considers charges against several young people who tried to break into a Greenwood gun store. And it's not the first time this has happened. In fact, just days earlier, a 16-year-old did break in using a car to smash into a different shop and steal more than a dozen firearms. Our Logan Gay talked with the prosecutor tonight about these investigations and why he hopes they send a message.
2 18-year-olds and 2 14-year-olds from Indianapolis were arrested for their alleged roles in attempting to break into Atkinson Firearms in Greenwood. Just 3 days earlier, Greenwood police also arrested a 16-year-old for his alleged role in using 2 stolen cars to crash into the Greenwood trading post and steal 20 guns. Police believe 2 other Indianapolis teenagers are also involved. Johnson County Prosecutor Lance Hamner says police recovered 2 guns.
The thing that bothers me about it is not only are they selling these guns illegally, but the people who are purchasing them are not buying them for a good reason. And so what they're not thinking about is if that gets used in a terrible crime, that maybe somebody gets killed, it's going to affect them the rest of their life, in addition to which they ruin somebody else's life.
In the case of the 16-year-old, Hamner's office is reviewing the case for charges and to determine if legal grounds exist to seek a waiver to adult court.
It's sad for them and sad for their families. It's a really dumb choice to make. They're looking at a penalty of up to 6 years in prison, and it's really not a good way to start out your life.
Hamner says Greenwood police left no stone unturned. He hopes other people who might be thinking of pulling off their own heist think twice.
We're hoping that they will see what happened to the other ones, and then this little trend will stop.
Logan, could this 16-year-old face more time for stealing these guns?
Well, Scott, Hamner says a burglary where things are taken in an attempted burglary to have the same penalty.
Okay, Logan Gay, thanks for that update. Sean?
All right, Scott, we're taking a live look now at the super moon that is in progress, along with what's left of the partial lunar eclipse. That's going to go for another 11 minutes here, and it is clear over a good portion of central Indiana. The lone exception is across the southeastern corner of the state. 75 with a dew point of 43. That air remains very comfortable. Mentioned a little bit of cloud cover across the southeastern U.S. or the part of the state. We're wrapping up our 8th straight day of 85 plus. Longest this late in the season since 2015. And we may make a run at what happened back in 1908. More 80s ahead in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, we'll see you in a few minutes. Tonight at 11, there's this push to crack down on these so-called street takeovers. The chaos that we're seeing on Indy streets, caught on camera, people doing burnouts and lighting the street on fire. Over the weekend, at least 7 people were arrested, but hundreds of people were involved. Police tell us some of these people went after police cruisers, hitting them with baseball bats, signs, and fire extinguishers. Tonight, IMPD Chief Chris Bailey is calling for harsher penalties for people taking part. So that would include seizing their cars. That's something police in Louisville started doing just a few years ago. In fact, police there say it's making a difference.
The fines, the $100, $200 fines, the points on the driver's license really wasn't getting it done, but taking somebody's prized possession for 6 months and accompanying it with a $1,000 fine, we've seen some dramatic results from it, and it stings, and it's working here in Louisville.
Indiana State Senator Aaron Freeman tried to do something similar here in Indiana He introduced a bill earlier this year and plans to reintroduce it next session. IMPD is telling us they are now working with the City County Council to introduce a local ordinance giving police more room to hold people accountable. Well, tonight at 11, frustration is now growing after a rise in violence over the last few days. Police are telling us they responded to 17 shootings since last Friday. Look at this map. The latest happening just this morning with 5 people shot at 3 different crime scenes. Community leaders like Reverend Charles Harrison from the Indy 10-Point Coalition are telling us that people are using violence to address conflicts. He told us something's got to change.
Helping people to better address their conflicts without using violence, when sometimes that's glorified. It's glorified sometimes in the music, in the videos, that glorifies, using violence to deal with your beef.
So if you have any information about any of these shooting investigations, please reach out to IMPD or Crime Stoppers.
So when that happened, I've been calling, asking, please, I need help for this boy.
A student tonight charged with battery after police say he attacked a teacher at George Washington High School. And now the student's dad is telling us his son attacked him too and needs mental health treatment. Derry Dickman told 13 News tonight that he's a licensed special education teacher. Now, he didn't want to go on camera with us, but he told us he was covering another teacher's class when this 19-year-old Aziz Mohamedou attacked him unprovoked. Dickman told us that he is recovering tonight from multiple injuries, including a concussion and a broken rib. We're told this is the 4th time that Mohamedou has been arrested for battery this year. In fact, the first time back in March against his own father.
This boy needs to be in the hospital. Please help me to get him in the hospital. I said, because I don't want him to hurt himself or hurt someone else.
His dad went on to tell us that Mohamedou has been diagnosed with catatonia, which is a disorder that disrupts a person's awareness of the world around them. IPS tells us that Mohamedou is no longer a student there at George Washington High School. And tonight we want to take a closer look at that attack of a student at Perry Meridian High School and the changes the family wants to see in that school district. The attorneys for the student told us tonight their client, who is a junior, was allegedly attacked by another student in the hallway last Thursday morning. Now, according to the family's attorneys, this incident is one of many taking place at the high school. Last school year, a 16-year-old was charged for assaulting a substitute teacher. They say these kinds of cases are causing fear in children. And now the family's attorneys are pushing for upgrades in Perry Meridian's anti-bullying policy and better training for staff members if they've got to handle incidents like this one.
We're hearing a lot of that from the school, that it's kind of an atmosphere there. And the kids are so terrified that they don't even want to go to the public bathrooms at this school for fear of being attacked.
Now, according to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, charges are expected against the 15-year-old suspect this week in juvenile court. 13 News reached out to Perry Township Schools several times. We were told they would not be accommodating interviews. Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. The man who's accused of killing a worker inside the Indiana Convention Center just made his first court appearance. Brian Fulton tonight is being held on no bond at the Marion County Jail. Fulton is charged with murder in the death of Alan Gosnell. Fulton pleaded not guilty to strangling and stabbing Gosnell last week. Tonight, an IU student is under arrest after police say he sexually assaulted 2 women. The 20-year-old is charged tonight with rape, strangulation, and confinement. And we just got the court documents that reveal the first alleged assault took place last Friday at a fraternity house. Then another woman came forward saying the student assaulted her at a sorority house. Tonight, 2 people are under arrest in connection with a mass shooting investigation that's underway in Anderson. 8 people were wounded at an anti-violence block party on July 21st. Anderson police confirmed they made their most recent arrest last week. They say they connected a gun found in a traffic stop in July to the shooting. The 2 arrests are linked to that part of the investigation. A new $27 million development is coming to Westfield. It's called Ambrose on Main. This development will include a plaza, rooftop patio, restaurants, and apartments. Work is scheduled to wrap up in July of 2026. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.